Hi everybody, how you doing? Trying a new game today. Just saw it on another gamer, a YouTuber's site. This guy named Dragast. If you're a fan of all the run-through games and stuff, go check him out on YouTube. Dre, pretty good dude. The game he found here was Heliopedia, and it looked pretty interesting. So I downloaded it and I screwed around with it a bit, and it hasn't got any attention on Twitch right now. So I'd like to maybe just throw a bit more out on here, and let's get our end game right now is basically just getting a little human to fix his spaceship and get out of the solar system. But we got a little bit of stuff to do before that. So we're gonna wake up the sun, get that burning, and just kind of go through this little tutorial here. It's pretty straightforward, but it's taken me a couple tries to sort of get where I need to be on this one, because it's kind of complex. So let me just get through this. Yeah, okay. Yes, let's get him some coal. 3 coal should do it. Okay, so the basic premise of this game is that once we get started here, is the sun is going to start making planets for us, and we have 3 basic elements. We got ice, coal, and oxygen, and those are the 3 basic building blocks we're given to start the game. So the sun wants you to do is feed him a bit of coal so he'll produce a planet. Now it starts getting pretty deep into biomes pretty early on. So what I've figured right now is I do need to actually collect a lot more than just 3 coal. So I'm just gonna stick around here for a minute, and we're gonna get a bunch of resources that we're gonna need to start the planet. Instead of going back and forth to these asteroid belts, we're just gonna take everything we can, and after that, show you the strategy. Like, I've only been playing this since yesterday, so my strategy is absolutely nowhere near perfect, but I got the little guy to leave, so I mean, there's got to be something to it. I gotta say, the soundtrack, pretty chill. I like that. I might use this for like most of my Twitch streams there. So the ice is basically going to be able to melt to cause water on the planets. Oxygen is needed for a whole bunch of stuff. Pretty obvious, right? But off of these 3 basic elements, we start creating a little bit more of everything, and with the help of the unlocks from the sun as well. So I'm just going to kind of start here. I don't want to really spend the next hour picking away coal, but got this belt cleared. We've got enough oxygen to start off, and enough ice. So I'm going to go back over to the sun. I'm going to go feed him that couple pieces of coal. By the power of gravity. The physics in this is pretty cool, actually. Like, the gravitational force of everything actually feels, you know, I'm sure it's not like 100% spot on, but there's definitely a gravity pull around the planets, right? Okay, so here's our first planet. I'm gonna just spit that out into the universe. Raritar. Raritar is our first planet. So now that we've gotten that, the whole kind of premise behind this is basically we have an atmosphere that we have to build, but we have to balance it with all the building blocks of life, right? Like carbon dioxide, nitrogen, oxygen, and then there's a few other things as well that are going to come into play. But the first thing I've found is that if I populate the atmosphere with way more oxygen than I need. So you can see each time I add oxygen, the pressure bar goes up, the barometric pressure, right? And if it gets past, let's say 2, I think it is, rocks start forming, basically because the pressure is so high in the atmosphere that it's actually condensing material. So once we start getting rocks popping up on here, there we go. That's one unlock we can do right off the bat. So as that's done, these things are actually going to create 2 different things as well when we burn them. But what I'm going to do first is all that coal I had, all this excess stuff, I'm going to throw this onto the planet right off the bat. And we're going to have this big old bonfire to start the game, basically. This is going to give us a few things. You get ash from the coal, and also it creates carbon dioxide, which is our first introduction to CO2 in this universe, right? Now I do hope that if anybody does watch this and does play this, if I'm doing anything that, you know, seems like I'm missing a step or two, I totally get it, because it's kind of a complex game when you get down to it. There's 99 things we can unlock. We can get 99 stars. Every discovery is a star. And I've gotten up to 65 so far, so I'm going to kind of run this just until we can do sort of the stuff that I can show you how to get the astronaut out of the galaxy. But I'm not going to do like 100% completion. It'll just be enough to like give you the gist of at least what I know of this game so far. And if you've been following me before, you'll know that I really dig kind of planet games. So this was kind of a nice little sort of on the same subject of Universe Sim, but in a different way. Okay. So, and each time we have to feed them for another planet, it's going to be a different item, and that kind of drives you into actually discovering more items and creating certain different things. Okay, pretty cool, right? Looks like you already have enough for tier 1. Okay, so our tier 1 is a match. This is our first spark of the universe here. I'm just going to take 5 for now. We're going to go back to our wasteland. And because we have an abundant amount of oxygen on here, all this coal is going to ignite pretty fast, right? And we're going to have to kind of fight the atmosphere. If we want to keep it all burning, all at the same time, that's going to take up all the oxygen relatively quickly. So I'm going to keep feeding a bit more oxygen in as these rocks burn. And as the rocks burn out, they create this ash right here. The ash is going to be super vital because this is what fertilizes the planets. And I'll keep a little bit more oxygen. So right now we have our first bit of carbon dioxide. I'm going to take that all out of the atmosphere. I'm just going to have it floating around here. So if I do need carbon dioxide for another planet, this is going to be my go-to planet for ash, iron, which I only need 1 of, and CO2. So now that we got the ashes covered, I'm actually not going to try and fertilize this planet at all. This is sort of my burner planet, is how I figured it. And anytime I'm running low on ash or any other resource or CO2, I'll go over here and I'll do that exact same thing that I just did. I'll throw down a whole bunch of coal, get enough oxygen to burn it, and then big old bonfire there. I mean, every once in a while you find a game like this where it's really sort of simple and complex at the same time. And I dig the art style, and it's just kind of a nice change every once in a while, you know? Okay, so I've got 29 ash now. The next thing we need to feed the sun is bile ash. I've got the 8 points I need to unlock the next solar seeds. We're going to feed this dude and cotton candy looking ash here. And we're going to create the next planet. So this is going to be my first planet that I try and actually give life to. And the only way we can do that is having a really balanced system. And I got a lot to learn before I can get, you know, bang on balance here, because this is it gets really kind of complicated. But we're going to try it. And yeah, I would love for anybody to try it out and help me out with this kind of stuff, because taking a good part of the day just to sort of get my head around how to do this. So right off the bat, I'm going to add just a bit of oxygen. And I'm actually going to go back to my burnt planet, and I'm going to grab some CO2. And so the way this is working is everything balances off of each other, right? You need CO2 in order for plants to create oxygen. But to get CO2, you need like mammals, basically, that create the CO2 and they absorb the O2. And they start you off relatively easy with seeds. So it's basically telling you, you know, here, grow this plant first. If you can get your barren wasteland fertile with some plants first, that's where it all comes in, and then you can start getting lower form creatures. So basically you start with plants, right? You know, only survive on fertile plants. So the first step we have to do is make this planet fertile, and then the critters come in and they breathe nitrogen. So plants create nitrogen for the critters start creating CO2 for the trees create oxygen for the animals, and so that's the cycle, right? I'm going to throw some CO2 in the atmosphere, quite a bit of it actually, because I actually want a lot of CO2 in here. That way these plants, once we get fertilized here, and actually what I'm going to do is, because it's -3, I'm going to add some water, which is ice in this form right now, but I'm going to add a bit of coal as well. So we're going to try and get this up to like maybe 24, 30 degrees. So like a really nice, comfortable living condition. I'm not going to do what I did on the other planet and make it all like 50 degrees. So I'll do a couple at a time. And we'll see how that goes. I think it's 3 degrees per coal, maybe. Let's see. And oxygen. I'm at 1 degree now. I'm going to throw the rest of my oxygen in. That way I can burn off the rest of this coal. We'll get it to a nice, decent climate, around 20 degrees. And I'm still making sure that I've got enough oxygen to feed this. Yeah, 11 degrees. Say 2 more. Let's try that. And the other sweet part is the balance is basically you got chunks of ice, right? So if your plant is getting too hot, you counter it with ice, and that'll cool it down, and also add water into the atmosphere. Now, this, I'm not sure if I'm intended to only keep it at 10 units for a sustainable atmosphere. Like the pressure becomes 1 bar when you have 10 units of atmosphere. Me, I don't know if you want to be overpressured and still get stone. It's something I'm still trying to figure out. But now that we have ash and we have a little bit of water, we're going to add the ashes to the water. That's going to increase our fertility. So we're going to start slow here, but you'll see it start picking up. Once we get fertile, the plant is going to go green. And you can drag the clouds. Yeah, everything is discoverable. I've only discovered like 3/4 of the stuff. There's a lot more, and I'd like to actually 100% this game eventually. Okay, so I'm gonna add a bit more water in as well. That's gonna decrease the climate though, down to still a temperate wasteland, right? We're at a barren wasteland now because we're still waiting on these to become fertile. I can drop that in a puddle there. That helps a little bit at 2, so we green up a bit. And there's the next one. So once we get this going, what I'm really going to want to balance on is nitrogen, and that's going to be our first starting spot. I'm just going to try and get the fertility up a little bit more. That way the seeds have a better chance of actually sprouting. I have a feeling I don't need that much CO2 in the air right now. The CO2 is going to be for the trees. So right now I'm only at, 6 out of 10 on the atmosphere. So hopefully I can fill the rest of the atmosphere up with nitrogen instead. At 28 degrees. I think we should be good once this cloud rains here. I'm not going to get much more water in here, because if you get too much water, then it becomes a lake, and you're going to need to make it into a lake eventually. But right at the moment, I'm just trying for a like a grassy plains sort of thing, and we're almost there. Steppe, I'd have to look that up of what that actually means as far as a biome that is, but we're trying to get to like a woodland, because that's what the other things he's going to be needing: apples and berries. Those will be the next things that he needs to eat in order to get a couple more planets. And I'm just going, by what I kind of know of this, and hopefully, a few more tries around this I'll actually learn and sound like I know what I'm doing, because right now it's just guessing. It looked pretty fun. I said, why not? And for $6 on Steam, you can't go wrong. Not sponsored, by the way. Stop the cloud there. The one thing I gotta say though is this, I haven't played many games where it's just 2 buttons. You got your mouse, left and right click, and that's all you can use in the entire thing as far as I've seen. Super simple, super basic. But after a whole bunch of hours, sometimes you're like, damn, I want to just use the other hand. Okay. There we go, fertility's going up. Humidity is at 2 out of 10 because I probably don't have enough water. So I'm going to kind of bounce back and forth between burning a bit of coal. So I'm going to go 2 water. And I'll do 3 coal. And then I'll light that up with a match. I was going to light up a match. There it is. Okay. Okay. So those 3 are going to bump a bit more CO2 into the air, I think. It's going to take my oxygen though, so I'm going to throw a bit more in just to compensate for when these burn out. 1, 2, 3. And because I have nothing living on the planet right now, I technically don't need a lot of oxygen on it. But we do need to start making nitrogen pretty fast. Our humidity is at 3 out of 10 now. With the 2 water that I've just put in. And we're at a savanna at 37 degrees, so I actually want to cool it down a little bit more. That way we're, again, in a green area, not a overly heated area. Just to start. There we go, 31 degrees, I can deal with that. But savanna still. Okay, 1 more down. And that should knock us into plains instead of savannas. There we go. Okay, the next bit of this, which I don't 100% understand either, is, so when you're looking at the core, this is the inner, right, where all the lava is, and then your outer crust. So this thing's going to explode, and if you have a lot of stuff on the planet, it ruins your day completely, right? Like, especially if you have high oxygen and a lot of trees, it's just going to toast your planet. So I just kind of wait until they shoot out, and I try and pick them up as they do. Okay, so we got a volcano, we got an ash cloud, and we got lava that we've discovered. That gives us the 15 stars in order to unlock the next little bit. 15 here. And these are insect eggs. So this is going to start taking, let me see if I got this right, I think nitrogen out of the ground and out of the seeds, and it's going to start converting that into CO2. Yeah. And with this planet, we did get 1 iron ore as well. So I'm going to keep this CO2 out here for now, so I know where to get it again. And I'm going to grab this iron ore while that volcano is active. I'm going to go back over there. And I'm going to get the ash cloud out of the way. And I'm going to smelt the ore into steel. Now you only need 2 steel, I think, or maybe 1 steel for the entire thing. I'm going to go make another one just in case. But we're holding fast, so we got the water. Ash clouds are going to basically turn into ash on the ground, which is good as soon as it rains. Our fertility is doing okay now, because we've been kind of planting all the ash around. And then, let me see if I can get, if I got 1 more iron out of this. Which it did. So I'm going to keep this steel on this planet for now. And I've got sort of a plan for, this is going to be like a staging area planet for a bunch of stuff when they show up. Stick around, I'll show you. Okay, it's green, it's savanna, it's still hot again. I'm going to give it a bit more water. But I already have 2 water, so I'm actually going to take 1 cloud out of the atmosphere there. So we're not actually flooding this place, we're just cooling it down. And getting more fertility here. Okay, with that being said, we got enough fertility now where I can start planting these guys. Oh, get out of here. Lava, I haven't figured out exactly if there's anything I can do with this. I'd love to figure that out too, but at this moment right now we got grass. And so this grass, we're going to grow quite a bit of it. And this is going to start adding nitrogen into the atmosphere. This ash one is just going to drop more ash down onto the ground. Nope, that's iron. I wanted to use that, didn't I? Am I too late? No, I'm not. Yeah, I was just, yeah. Of course. So this thing's going to explode whenever the hell it feels like, I guess. I don't know if it has anything to do with temperature or pressure or any of these factors. It just seems to be random right now, but I could be well wrong on that. So once I start seeing a nitrogen kind of influx where the planet's making it and it's not dissipating too fast, then I'm slowly going to start incorporating creatures. So I'm not going to throw a bunch of creatures down all at once, or they'll just take up all the nitrogen that's being produced. We got our first grasshopper here, okay? This guy's going to take 1 nitrogen, I think, like 1 per living creature, maybe, or I don't know. There's a balance though. They suck on nitrogen, so if you have too many creatures, then it's not going to be able to produce like an abundant amount of nitrogen, and you'll never be able to grow the seeds. Pull them right off the trees too. Okay, so at 3, 1 water seems to be fine, I think, on a planet like this, because we're not going for water world, and then we're not going for like a desolate volcanic world either. So 1's not too bad, I think. Yeah, by no means take this one as a tutorial. This is just close to first playthrough here. But it was fun, and it was cheap, and just kind of refreshing to play something else, sort of in the same genre as the usual stuff. And as long as we keep meeting the right conditions, then that's what I'm trying to accomplish now, is getting the planet fertile on its own instead of having to feed it ash every time. And through the different creatures, they help with the fertility. If I can get one of these worms. So this is the next thing that we got to create 3 of in order to appease the big old sun over there. I'm gonna keep trying to. I'm gonna do one more over there, but I'm gonna take this guy out right now. And if it creates another one, okay. So I'm gonna take this guy and hopefully one more at the same time. So I'm not gonna be taking too much nitrogen out of the air. I'm gonna go back to the sun. I'm gonna grab one more for the eggs over here. Feed them these worms there. I'm gonna grab a couple more. And if I can keep 2 worms chilling on the planet at the same time, all the better. But yeah, it's a super balance. Like you put one more on than you need, and like they run out of something major. And I'm looking at oxygen right now. I'm just gonna stand by here for a second and grab all my oxygen out of here. And coal while I'm at it. Don't really need ice, but it's just in my way. Okay, so that should be okay for oxygen right now. And I think these resources generate over a certain regenerate over a certain amount of time too, so I'm not too worried about draining all the resources there. Okay, so I'm gonna go back here, and fertility's okay. Got that one worm down. I'm gonna take another egg. I'm gonna take this worm out and see if I can get 2 of them without them being too much of an impact on the nitrogen in the world there. So fertility's okay, humidity's okay. Nitrogen, I think I need a bit more. Could be wrong, but I'm gonna throw down one more grassland over here. And we'll see what that does for us. But in the meantime, we're gonna go get him one more worm here, and that way he'll make us up another planet. And this planet I'm not really even gonna touch right now. It's kind of just, this is gonna be, I don't know, maybe it'll be like the ocean planet that we try for. I'm gonna try and get each one its own sort of biome, right? So this would be the plains and Arctic or ocean, and all throughout we make whatever biomes we can, and then unlock all the corresponding life forms that go with those biomes. Wait. Okay, so next one he needs is berries. And the berries come from solar nuts. And maybe we'll get a couple more eggs. A couple more seeds, just in case. Okay, and then the next one we're going to have to get to is the actual oxygen-breathing life. But we don't really want to plant anything on a planet with little oxygen, because they'll suffocate. So right now, see how like nitrogen seems to be suffering because there's too many nitrogen breathing animals or life forms on there. So I'm gonna keep trying to get oxygen or nitrogen up a little bit. I'm gonna get so confused with like everything I'm trying to say, but we'll get it done. Okay, so that should help with the production of nitrogen a little bit. And fertility's doing really good, which I'm surprised at. But we're still not rocking out on nitrogen itself. So try a couple more of these plants. The climate, I think, is good. So you can see like the little bubbles that they're producing. So those purple bubbles are obviously nitrogen. And, well, not obviously, but they are nitrogen. And these guys are pumping out CO2 as they inhale nitrogen. I would love to see somebody else's strategy on this. There's like no attention to this game whatsoever. There's 4 or 5 people I think that have played it on Twitch, and then the guy that I said introduced me to it through YouTube there, Dragast, he was the only other person I've seen play this game, but it was totally worth checking out. And for like the price of 2 cups of coffee, I wasn't gonna complain. Okay, so nitrogen's doing all right now. It's starting to kick up again. So this means basically I can plant one of these trees, or it's going to be the berry bush, right? Okay, so we got our first berry bush, and then the next demand is he's going to want berries, right? If I put too many berry bushes in, carbon dioxide is going to go down significantly, but we want to kind of get this planet ready for oxygen breathing life. See, there you go. Right now I just got to kind of keep an eye on it, like figure out where it's going. So if CO2 is taken up too much, I want to place another berry bush down, because that's going to consume some of that CO2. But I don't want to throw like 15 of them on here, because then it'll just take up too much. Okay, and this wasn't a berry bush at all. This was some kind of tree, which is going to be good because that's going to take up a lot of carbon dioxide as well and output oxygen. And our first berries. I'm just going to throw these eggs into space for now and start collecting berries. And there's one. And once we get 3 of those, then we should be in a not a bad spot. But I'm going to need more carbon dioxide in order for these trees to actually be very happy, I think. So we got an apple tree. That's good. That's the next thing. After we get the berries into the sun, then we're going to get apples into the sun. So I got my berries now. Okay, so we're going to go back over to the sun, feed him some berries. He looks like he needs them. There you go. Get him in there, bud. Okay. And now we need one more planet to go after this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to our barren first planet, because we should still have a bunch of CO2 kicking around. That wasn't it. It was a longer name, that wasn't it? It was... yeah. It'd be nice to have more memorable names, but I get it. I'm just going to help this other planet with a few of these for now. And we'll go back over the Plains planet. And I'm going to help throw a bit of CO2 into the atmosphere here, because there's too much oxygen. Trees can't breathe off of oxygen. And that was a good sign, I think, that it's growing under these conditions. So what we're going to need to do basically is wait for... do I need... see, it's creating too much oxygen and I'm not creating enough CO2, which means I need more critters. So I'll go back, and nitrogen's taken over as well. So yeah, and this is like my game basically, is we're going to go around and try and balance and try not to fail this, because I've failed quite a few times on this already. Just trying to get the gist of it all, you know? But we got enough nitrogen where these eggs should hatch. And then these eggs should contribute to the CO2. Maybe. I'm hoping. Let's try another one. We're drowning in oxygen. Or at least the trees are. Okay, so I think I'm gonna have to go back and go assist with the CO2 again until I can get this tree grown. So I've got a twig here and a twig here. That's perfect. These two twigs go together and they form a nest. So this nest is where we can put our first baby egg. And couldn't have been better timing for that, because Now we got enough oxygen. Well, I need 30, don't I? Darn. I need to wait for... I need to do 2 more discoveries before that. And those discoveries, I have to figure out what I didn't plant, or I have to just create another biome now. Give me 2 minutes, please. Okay, so like I was saying, so now we got way too much oxygen. These trees aren't going to produce anything based on the amount of oxygen. So we'll go unlock. I'll give them a bit of CO2 first. With that. So now we're under a lot of pressure though too, because I think I just have too much oxygen in the air in general. Don't know if the pressure affects the growth there. But we got apples. And I like them apples. So I'm going to take away... I'm going to need more nitrogen before I place any more eggs. Let's see if we can't get a couple more apples out of the deal. And if... Can't tell if that volcano is actually ready for smelting or not, so let's try it. Yep. So there's a next chunk of steel that we'll need for later on in the game. And I saw an apple. Okay, there's another one. And maybe it's going to pop up one more. There we go. It's going to pop up one more now. So now we got the apples to feed the sun. That's going to give us our last point in order to unlock the eggs. Nope. There you go. Did that count? That didn't count. I should have woke him up first. We'll go back and try that one more time. Hopefully they got another one on this tree. I have enough CO2. Yep. Okay, let's give them a bit more CO2 for this project. There we go. Okay, there's the last apple again. Go back to the sun. He's awake. Feed him that last apple there. Something's wrong. He ate too much. Okay, so that was a little bit of a different kind of look on it. Thank you for the ban. I appreciate it. And now this dude is a black hole because he became too dense. So that's the only other thing we need to feed him. It's so heavy he collapsed on himself. Damn. That's a story for you, isn't it? Gonna consume everything. Great. Okay, so that doesn't give us another point, which is fine. We've got enough planets to play with now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave this planet as is right now. I think it's doing okay. It could use a few more seeds for that nitrogen. And another thing we'll create right off the bat is electricity. We got a thundercloud, but I'm not going to let it actually thunder yet because I don't want to start a fire on this planet. You know, the volcano might do that, but I'll leave that outside the atmosphere for now. And I want rain on those seeds to help with the nitrogen. Let's try another one over here as well. Without nitrogen, I don't have much to go on. So I do find it to be, yeah, like just it's kind of a fun sort of back and forth of everything. You know, if we don't have nitrogen, then we don't have insects. If we don't have insects, we don't have CO2. If we don't have CO2, we don't have trees. If we don't have trees, we don't have oxygen. Yeah. And then each biome, based on temperature, creates different animals and different trees. Because I still don't have any nitrogen, those eggs don't want to grow. We have 30 points now. So I'm going to get the last solar egg here. And I'm going to see what kind of animal we get. Right now it's a savanna. Don't particularly want it to be a savanna, so I'm going to cool it down. I'm going to add a bit of water, cool it down just a couple degrees in order to get it back into wooded plains, or wooded... Another thing I need to figure out is how to get to a forest. I haven't figured out the forest biome yet. Fertility's doing okay. I'm going to plop down this, since I have such an abundant amount of oxygen, I'm going to try and get this critter here, whatever pops out, to start using that and then output the CO2. So what do we got here? We got a bunny. Alright. So bunnies, like all other eating and drinking mammals, they're going to dig holes and they're going to poop. And the poop's going to add to the fertility rate as well. This guy's going to take a lot of oxygen and he's going to output CO2. And now I need to be careful with how many critters do I actually put on this planet. So I'm going to try with one more. And I don't know if, like, certain placements near things, volcanoes, rocks, whatever, affects what's born. Or if it's just kind of random based on the biome. What up, Recalls? How you doing? How's it going? I'm trying something new here. It's been a while since I've tried a new game, actually, and it's kind of fun, kind of cute, kind of complex, and kind of simple all at the same time. So yeah, it's all right. I picked away at it, and yeah, it's just another kind of balancing game, you know. Like, it's sort of really within the same scope of the stuff we've always been doing over here. Okay, so I got some sand. That sand is going to go in that volcano whenever it decides to get a little hotter here. And we got some poop. Good fertilizer. That adds the fertility rate up here. Well, it's going good both times, no matter what. You doing any streaming tonight there, Recalls? Or just hanging out, watching people? Okay, so nitrogen, again, is shitting the bed. I have too much CO2 now, because I only have one tree. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bunny in orbit. And they don't die out here, so it's not like animal cruelty or anything. It's just, he's in a holding pattern. And I'm going to see if that'll help with the oxygen until I can get another tree down. Which I'm going to try and put right over here. And maybe if I have enough trees, it becomes a forest biome. I don't know yet. I'm still very, very much trying to figure this out. Oh yeah, you're going to play some Phasmo? Yeah, it's always a good time. You like those jump scare games, eh? That's cool. Okay, so I'm not making any nitrogen again. I'm gonna put down more seeds. Water those. And yeah, I really don't know if I'm doing this right, but I'm just trying to get this balanced, you know? We don't have to... We technically don't have to grow much more. And I'll show you in a second why. Yeah, me too. I like kind of freaky games. And, yeah, I wish I could find more that were, like, super freaky. Not like 70s style, you know? But, you know what I mean. Alright. I'm looking for another rain cloud. I'm gonna get this cloud. And I'm gonna get those seeds down there. And I'll try another one over there as well. Okay, that lava, don't burn my shit, don't burn my shit. Come on, out of here, get out of here. Alright, so that lava is going good now. I'm gonna put some sand that the rabbit dug up. I'm gonna put that into the volcano, and that smelted us some glass. Okay, so then now I guess it's time for us to introduce ourselves to the little guy that needs to get going. I will get on that in a second. Let me just get this down. Where's those seeds? Oh, they're on the other side of the planet, I think. Alright. Okay. So the planet needs the O2, but the animals... Yeah, the animals need O2. The trees need CO2. The smaller insects and critters need nitrogen, and they produce the CO2. And the nitrogen comes from the grass and fauna. That make sense? But I seem to always be struggling because now I'm producing too much carbon dioxide and not enough. Oh, I got some honeybees. Sweet. Cool. I'm not sure how that occurred. Maybe it was proximity to flowers and trees. Don't know. But we got them. Anyways, I'm going to leave this planet alone for a second. Let me take off this other... No, I don't want to take off another life form. Okay, so the dead honeybee is because... not enough oxygen, I'm going to assume. And the trees are all dying because there's... I don't get why the trees are dying. Too much CO2? Don't know. Is it your fault, rabbit? Looking at you. Okay, well, anyways. Or maybe it's just too hot for these particular trees. So I'll try and cool it down a little bit, but we're out of oxygen, so I'm going to try and save that rabbit's life, if I can. Then I'm going to run away real quick, because it does pause. It doesn't keep running as you go. So the last one that he shot out was one farthest away, I think. I'm going to have to check each one. Okay, so that's a bare planet. That is the planet we started on. Yeah, I gotta write these down or something instead of revisiting them all. And... okay, Turtle, no. Para? No. I'm looking for one Turtle and Tara, no. Our Tara is the one we started on. So it's gotta be Raider. There it is. Okay. Welcome to the human. He looks, you know, very, very correct proportions for a human. He's just chilling out here, you know. He's like, hey man, what's up? My ship crashed. I'm like, yeah, cool, man. You want some glass? And so what you can do with the human is some items, you give him these items, and then he's going to handcraft something. So he crafts this guy. He's like, holy shit, we got a cabin for his UFO now. Okay, so the next thing we had ready for him was that steel, right? I think I still have one over here. These guys aren't looking too good. Sorry about that, guys. I'll get back to you. Okay, and then the next piece we give him is some steel. And he's gonna look at that. He's like, I don't know what the hell you want me to do with that. I'm like, oh, I got an idea. Good day, hey, Hoser. How's it going? How's it going? I know it feels weird. I'm not playing the universe sim, but just trying something else out. I'm trying to get balance of planets in a different kind of way. All right. Okay, so now we got the steel there. So the next thing we need is a battery. The way we get batteries is gold. And the way we get gold is through stone. And it's a rare item, so we got to make a lot of stone. And let's go back to our first planet, which was Rawatar, right? Yeah, okay, this is our first one. So we do have a bit of stone on the ground. We've got very little oxygen, so I'm going to do the same thing I did the first time, is we're going to populate the atmosphere with a crap ton of oxygen. Like way more, get like up to like 2-3 bar on pressure. And then I'm going to throw a bunch of coal back into it. So at 2 bar, these stones should be forming again. From previous experience. There we go. Okay, so we got a little bit of pressure, so I'm going to wait until a few of these guys actually start forming. And I guarantee I'm going to need more coal and oxygen for this. So before I hit fast forward on that, I'm going to go grab more of the basics that we can burn. Yeah, I checked out some of your videos there, Ratlin. Those are pretty cool. Like, you've just been fixing stuff your whole life and you decided to share. Feels like a pretty cool way to go. You know, I tried to do the Strange Brew Creations thing for a while, and I think I get back into it too. Yeah, I like doing stuff with my hands, not just clicking a mouse. And that's literally all this game is too. It's like left and right mouse buttons. No directions, no nothing else. Okay, so we got a bit more oxygen, we got some more coal. We'll get a match from our, what used to be sun. Yeah, and me too. I'll take it apart and see if I can, it wasn't even broken, I'll take it apart and just see if I can put it back together. Okay, got a couple solar matches here. You been working on any other projects recently there? Let's throw a bunch of coal back down onto here. Start getting more of that CO2 in there. And let's give that a quick little burn. Okay. You brought in English wheel. I'm not even sure what that is, honestly. Make a poke call. Yeah, so there's like, I only understand half that sentence, sorry. Pardon my ignorance. Oh, Pokeball. Alright, gotcha. What's an English wheel, though? Oh, she took apart a new bike. Well, got it back together eventually, hopefully. So what was I doing? I was trying to burn rocks is what I was trying to do. So hopefully through one of these rocks we can get some gold. Got the iron ore already. Because it's a rare commodity, you gotta burn a whole crap ton of them as far as I've seen, or you just luck out. There we go. Just lucked out here. We got some gold. And what I had over here was steel, so we're gonna combine those two, and we're gonna craft an empty battery. Now with this empty battery, I'm gonna go take that over to our regular planet. And remember that thundercloud I made? Well, that's the way we're gonna get electricity off of that. How are we doing over here? Oh, it's like it's a lake now. So I'm gonna throw some lake trees in, and it's gonna be popping up into. Oh, okay, great, cool, awesome. Yeah, that's what we need. More lava. Yeah, plant life. It's totally cool with that. Get out of here. English wheels and metal forming too. Okay. So I need to get rid of a bit of water here so my rabbit doesn't die. Although he seems to be doing alright in the lake. I'm actually kind of surprised. But I have no oxygen being created because we've changed our ways here. So, yeah, so I got some cypress. Anyways, what was I doing? Keep getting distracted. So where was that thundercloud? Okay, so thundercloud, I'm going to take that with me and the empty battery. And do I need to do this on a planet with oxygen? I'm not sure. We're going to try that out. It was, yep. So, I feel I'm probably going to need oxygen for this at least. Maybe. I'm going to pop that battery down. I'm going to pop that thundercloud down. And let's see what it does. Okay, so that thundercloud is going to charge this battery. And then I'm going to get my little human again. What you doing, buddy? Walking around on a small little planet like that. Yep. So he's going to be like, hey man, you finally got the battery. Yeah. And dryers. Not super complex, but just enough where it can be kind of intimidating to some people. Alright. So now I got the ship. Basically what I could do is I could tell the human to embark, and that would end the game, right? But we're only at 46 discoveries out of 99. So I'm going to keep going for a little bit longer. Not too much longer, but that's just how to get to the very basic end game, at least. And I know it wasn't a tutorial at all. It was just me like throwing nitrogen, oxygen, and burning stuff away. But it worked, right? So the next thing we can do is basically try and unlock certain critters from different biomes here now. And you know, I got really high pressure on this planet, but it seems like we've got a little bit of everything, which is good. You know, fertility is getting covered by the ash clouds because they're going to keep dropping ash in. Oxygen isn't doing great, so I can use. We're going to go back to the sun. We're going to grab some stuff. My dead bee. I'm sorry, buddy. Cast you off into space. Now let's see if we can maybe get a fish going on as well. And we're going to need the nuts for oxygen. And we're going to get some eggs for, well, that'll be CO2, which I don't really want. Here, take a match. Get another one. Okay, so I'm going to plant a bit more of the ferns or grass or whatever is going to produce nitrogen for now. And we'll try and start again on the same planet, but just have a few different animals now because we're in a lake as opposed to some grasslands. Rabbit's a trooper, man. So what are we going to plant here? What's this going to end up as? It's going to end up as bulrush. Okay. So bulrush is going to be the nitrogen supplier for this particular biome. And nitrogen's doing alright, so I can add some eggs, which I think I'll get krill out of. Yeah, okay, so and then we got a bit of krill. And so once we have a bit of krill populated here, and it's not eating up enough or too much of the nitrogen, then as long as that's balanced, then I can start getting some trees, which are going to be the, what, marine bushes, I believe? And cypress bushes. So and those will provide some of that oxygen, they'll take down some of the CO2. And hopefully that makes it a little happier. So we got the nitrogen, the oxygen should change over now. I might be able to get my rabbit back down from space, but I want to test to see what else is. I think it's going to be a fish that pops out or salamander. I have no clue exactly what situation brings about what kind of life, so that's what I'm trying to find out. And I think after this, then we'll go over to a different planet and we'll try like a fully heated one, right? Like a volcanic mess of a planet. Because I think you get something out of that too. Well, I kept him out of the way, really. He's all right. Look, doesn't say dead rabbit, it says rabbit. So doing all right. And we got a capybara. Okay, so capybaras, and the wiki here tells you a little bit about each one, right? So the rabbit found in temperate grasslands, so we're in temperate wetlands right now. And the capybara commonly found in lakes, so that's why it popped up there, right? And found in grasslands for the rabbit as well. As you can see, there's like a ton of stuff we need to still unlock. Giraffe, chicken, crow, penguin, and I guess you can kind of get the sense of like, you know, where it's going to be. You know, like obviously a brown bear is going to be in a forest biome. I just don't exactly know how to get to the forest biome. Maybe it's a temperature thing, or don't know. Ducks are got to be in a wet environment. Penguins got to be in a cold environment, and a giraffe has to be in a hot. So that's kind of the name of the game now. Is before I send my little human off to get out of this solar system, I'd love to be able to discover as many as I can. So we got marine bush here. I got a dead grasshopper, so the grasshoppers can't survive in this kind of climate. Okay, so nitrogen's doing crazy good now, and that means I'm going to need more krill. Yeah, so the eggs eat the nitrogen, put out the CO2, and then so I don't need any more seeds. I'm going to try and plant some trees on here first as well, get that oxygen balanced out a bit more. Okay, so let's get some more krill into these lakes. They're going to start dealing with the nitrogen. And I'll get some more trees down that will start dealing with the CO2. Because right now, if I was to drop that rabbit back down on the planet, I don't know, maybe I'm just talking on my ass, because like these guys are alive, but there's no oxygen. There's like one oxygen on the planet. I don't particularly get it, but I just call them troopers, you know, that they're pretty badass. They're like, yeah, I don't care, it's flooded, whatever. Can't touch the bottom, don't care. So I think we're doing okay here. Nothing seems terrible. So let's go over to another planet and let's really screw it up. What I'm going to try and do is I'm going to give it oxygen just so we can get a little bit above freezing mark on the atmosphere. And I'll give it just a little bit of coal. And what I'm going to do is fill this up. So this is going to be a ton of water right off the bat, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to freeze it. And then we're going to superheat it. If that makes any sense. Superheat ice. And what it does, I think, is basically increases the planet temperature so much that you actually get like a volcanic planet, which if we can keep it as an Arctic planet, then we can plant more of the Arctic biome stuff. Get a couple more things on it. Okay, so we got oxygen, we got a few rocks, so I'm gonna start throwing a bit more rocks on here. The coal. I'm gonna get that tree out of the inventory. We're gonna go grab a match. We grab a couple matches. And go back to the little water planet. It's all frozen up right now. We do have a little bit of oxygen, not a lot. So give it more oxygen and let's ignite all these guys. What I'm hoping happens is the planet kind of freaks out a bit and we just go full volcanic. Because of just such a temperature change, right? At such a rapid time. Maybe? I don't know. We'll see if it works or not. Okay, so it just melted the stuff. There we go. We're getting it a little flustered now. Okay. There we go. So we got high pressure and volcanic activity. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to make this like, you know, really like a Sahara desert sort of scenario where we're going to just get sand dunes. It's going to be really, really toasty. And I'm going to take away some of the clouds here. That way, kind of burn a couple more. We'll get rid of some of this water as well. I have no oxygen to do it. Okay. So I don't want to make every planet like an ocean planet. Because now that we're working on that ocean planet back there, I think we can get most of our marine life just by upping the temperature or lowering it. Maybe. And so get a bit more water out of here. Found that you can exit if you just click on this as well. This will get your CO2 out or whatever element you're trying to get off of the planet. It'll automatically put it out. So every time water comes up, I'll just get those clouds pushed out of the atmosphere. I'm not going to do that for the ash clouds because the ash clouds are going to help with the fertility once they settle. I'm going to get the lava out and floating around too. Okay, we've got 2 more clouds. Get rid of those. A little less water on the planet. We're going to almost be at a growing stage here. So again, I'm going to need to go right back to where we started with the last time, is start with the seeds so we can produce nitrogen. And then move on to the eggs to get CO2. And move on the tree. So I don't need these eggs yet. I'm going to kind of start on doing the same thing we were doing with the other planet. I'm just going for a very hot environment. So maybe we're going to try for like a giraffes. And where was it? This one? Yeah, it's this one. Yeah, let's try and make it like a Sahara desert. The sun is no longer a sun. The sun is a black hole because I fed it too much and it imploded on itself. Yeah. Who'd have thunk just a couple apples and some worms would have been so bad for it. Okay, so we're at Tropical Lake, and I want to get a little bit more water off the planet. Okay, now we're in the tropic. Do I want less water than that then? Because will that dry out even more on the next cloud? Hopefully. Let's see. Okay, well, let's see. Let's try our luck at the tropic one for now. So I'll let this start. We'll start booting some nitrogen in this way. And those ash clouds will fall, and that'll be great. I don't know what use I have for the lava balls yet. It feels like there's something there. I don't know the combination of what I actually need to do. Okay, so our first ferns. And those ferns will grow some watermelons, I believe. And so we'll get the nitrogen pumping first, and then we'll introduce some of the critters. And after the critters, the trees, and after the trees, the mammals. And that's kind of the whole flow of things. But there's just some combinations that I'm not entirely sure of yet, so I was trying a couple different ones tonight as well. I haven't gotten to the tropical Sahara animals yet. Maybe this time we will. Okay. Okay, nitrogen's starting up. And 39 degrees. Now, if I was to maybe make it a little hotter, would it turn into Sahara instead of tropic? That would probably kill these ferns too, which seem to be kicking off quite a bit of nitrogen, which is awesome. Let's see. Okay, nitrogen's doing alright. Let's put some critters down. And I do like the orbit thing too. If you throw them too fast, they'll go all the way around. Okay, so I'd say two little worms might be enough to keep the nitrogen balanced based on the plants that we have. Let's see. If that drops that out and then they start producing CO2, all the better. Okay, so that's 3 down. Water's doing fine. 4 down, so maybe we can afford one more. Let's see. Okay, so those 3 there. I'm not going to put any more down because I think they'll start consuming too much nitrogen. But based on that, now that we have something creating CO2, I'm going to throw down our first desert tree or tropic tree, which you'd figure would be a palm tree, right? I guess. Let's see. Nope. Just a berry bush. So, do I need to make it hotter? Try one more time. Maybe it's like luck of the draw. Or maybe it's location as well. Like it needs... Okay. So, hey, we got something else. Alright. That looks like a pretty palm-esque to me. So I don't know if that's random or if that's because they're near ferns or near stones. No clue. Now, what other trees do I have that I'm missing? So willow tree would be like a swamp tree. Acacia would be a forest one. Twiggy bush would be like desert. Banana. We got our cypress tree. So I guess this is a palm tree. And the palm tree will grow coconuts? Possibly? Let's see. How much CO2 do I have? Okay. So I got the palm tree. CO2 is not doing great anymore because of that palm tree, so we need to create more critters. I'm going to need more nitrogen for that. So there we go. We'll keep working on that balance. Going to get a bit more nitrogen down in that pool there. I'm going to go back to get more seeds. Or eggs, I should say. And some seeds. And just in case I overbalance that, actually, you know what? Let's go with the solar egg now. And let's see if we can get a giraffe or something out of this. Don't know. But as long as I might have to go get a nest from another planet because I need 2 sticks from it. But at the moment, let's get these guys going. Okay, so what are these? What do we got? We got a snake. Alright, sweet. 53 on the menu there. Fertility's doing okay, not great. Let's get fertility up a bit more. And I still need to do more on the CO2 side of things, right? Yeah, because all I got is oxygen. I got no CO2. Those trees aren't going to do anything. And I have no nitrogen either. So there you go, right? It's like as soon as you get like a little wonkiness in your balance, it screws everything up. Glad there's no CP in this one, man. So let me help with this nitrogen a bit more before everything else suffocates. Come on, guys, you got this. So maybe I took a worm out of the pitcher for a second. Would they stop taking as much nitrogen? Let's see. I'm just making a lot. So this one tree and that bush are like all you need for life, it seems, on this planet. So let's try that. I'm going to go back to the planet we already established. I'm going to take the nest from there. Our temperate lake, how we doing? You're still alive? I'm happy with that. I know it pauses, but it's... Oh, okay, dead worm. And krill's still alive, that's good. Grasshopper dead. Where's that nest at? Okay, I'm just gonna build another one. Combine that. So we'll make that a nest. There you go. Watch. One patch of krill screws up the entire rest of this thing. Actually, I'm making too much nitrogen, so these krill will help a little bit for that. And okay, so we got the nest. And we go back to the tropics. We're going to lay this nest down. Wherever. Got a watermelon now, that's cool. Okay, and let's see what kind of animal we get out of this. Come on. Probably not a giraffe. That would be more of the savanna. Okay, well, we turned right into a savanna as I planted it, so let's see what we got. Hey, we got a giraffe. Look at that guy. You're doing alright. You got plenty of oxygen. You got some food. Nice melons, giraffe. Looking pretty good from this angle. Okay, so more nitrogen again. Let's fight with that just a bit more. Okay, so that's going to do alright for the nitrogen. And we're going to need more CO2, which would come from another animal, I think. So let's try another animal. Need another egg. Okay, thanks for the poop there. Oh. Going for food. I don't have any big trees for you, man. And without that CO2, okay, I got a coconut, good. So I guess, would these grow, I don't think they would grow bananas as well, right? You would need a banana tree itself. Produces a variety of fruits, the palm tree does. Good, okay, so that'll produce bananas, maybe if we get enough CO2. Okay, now we're into desert, so I am going to, I don't think I'm going to be able to keep all these animals alive, unfortunately. But what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and launch that giraffe into space so I keep him alive in case the savanna part comes back. Because I don't... Okay, you did it yourself, eh? Alright, you stay out there for now. And let's see what kind of animal we get when we are in the savanna. Where's that nest? It is. Poop out of the way. Come on, tuck in. Alright. What's this gonna be? Nitrogen again. We got a crow. Alright. Grow in a desert? Sure. Maybe we'll try for 2, see if we get a different animal out of it. Because I got the oxygen to afford 2 life forms, I think. And hopefully they start pumping out CO2 as well. And I need more nitrogen. Got another crow, or what do we got? Yep, okay, so 2 crows. I guess that, for the desert, that's what we're getting. I'm sure there's something I'm missing, like you have to put it next to a rock or something like that, or I don't know. Oh, you ate the seeds. Bastard. Alright. Well, I guess if there's nothing else to eat, that makes sense. Okay, let's get some solar eggs going on as well. A little bit more wildlife up in there. And I'll take 2... No, I don't need any more mammals, I don't think. So let's see what we're doing over here. In the desert. The giraffe. Just look, guys, you're gonna help out at all. So let's plant a tree. Somewhere. Come on, give me some rain. Plant another one here. Hopefully the rains get that one later. Dead snakes. Yeah, snakes are only good, I guess, in the tropics, but not in the deserts. Crows seem to be fine out here, though. Dead tree, so I'm not going to get a banana out of that guy, that's for sure. But what kind of tree is going to grow out of this now? There was one over here, too. Where was the one I planted? On this big, giant plant. It's really hard to find all this stuff. Hi. Come on. Okay, so there it is, the seedling here. Okay, so let's see what kind of tree this is. Would this be the acacia, or no? That would be like a forest tree, I think. So that seedling is going to grow well because of the amount of CO2 in the air, and hopefully it starts providing oxygen because birds need oxygen. Oh, okay. Yeah, cool. Right on. Okay, so we got enough nitrogen for at least 1 hatchling here. Dead crow, get it out of my atmosphere here. And we got another worm. Okay, so that's kind of the desert biome. So I think the next one we're going to try and do is a frozen biome. I'm so glad you don't die out here. So we're at 58. I'm getting close to where I was last time. If anybody has any like suggestions on like what kind of climate would do something for any of these, I would love to be able to get to a forest biome, but I just haven't figured out, is it cooler temperatures that would be a forest biome, or I don't know. The pine tree would be in that area, right? Let's see what we need for that. Let's go try and make a forest biome. If not, we'll freeze it all over and make a tundra sort of thing instead. We got another wasteland over here. This is our original wasteland. I think I'm gonna keep this original. You know what? Why not, right? I don't think we need a lot more fertility stuff. So what I'll do is at 50 degrees right now, so we're going to throw a whole bunch of ice at it until it melts and cools off. And I got a lot of CO2 floating around here too, don't I? So that's going to be great for the starting plants. Okay. So at 14 degrees for plains. What can I do to make that into forest. I mean, trees would be the only thing I guess would be in the forest area, right? Pine trees should be cooler temperatures. Yeah, I would figure, right? Now I wonder if it would be below freezing. Let's throw a bit more ice on here. Get it down to like 0. Okay, so that now I'm at swamp based on water. I'm gonna take out a bit of water. No, why did I go to swamp? Maybe swamp is... Can't be a climate thing. Maybe. I always picture swamps like, you know, Florida swamps or something like that, really hot and humid. So I got, maybe it's a swamp because of humidity. Let's test that. Yeah, okay. Swamp, plains, swamp, plains. That's humidity alone that affects that, I think. Okay, so I want to keep on with plains. But how can I turn plains into forest area? Let's try and plant some trees, I guess. Like if we have the starting of a small forest, will that help the biome out? I'm not quite sure. I got a ton of CO2 on this planet and oxygen, so a few trees are probably going to be pretty useful. Do you catch orbit there? No. Okay, so we got moss. Moss is... Okay, so Mossy Swamp. What would forest be then? Think we should cool it down a bit more? Right. Can always light it up again. We're at 2 degrees now. And take out some more moisture. Okay, barren wetlands now because our fertility just shit the bed. Is that because I took all the water away? Okay. I need to refertilize the ground. And maybe because I didn't have any creatures out there to fertilize as well. Could be a possibility. We're at wetlands now. That's better than plains, but it's not forest yet. Swamp. I got to assume that there is a forest biome, right? I think I've been through everything else, but I just haven't seen that one. And I'd like to get the bear. A big old bear wandering around here. Get more nitrogen going on here. That help with... Oh, too far. Good enough. Okay, so moss is going to give a bit more. It's kind of funny, eh? This game is like so new and kind of unheard of that, yeah, there's no information on this yet. I was just out of curiosity, I was looking up, you know, kind of how people would do this, and there's nothing out there yet, so we're all just gonna pioneer it as we go along. There are a few people that don't stream that have completely conquered the game. Not me though. Okay, so nitrogen. Still not getting enough nitrogen. We're at a mossy swamp. Let's see what kind of tree grows in a mossy swamp. Just a berry bush. Is that another luck of the draw thing as well? Let's see, let's plant a few more, figure out if that's the only thing that's going to grow over there. And some more eggs. Let's get some more nitrogen. Oh yeah, I need more seeds as well. Yeah, the whole thing is kind of repetitive on, you know, what you have to do. I mean, they're only giving you so many things to work with, but it's kind of cool that with these things you can create all kinds of different temperatures and different biomes. I don't know how long I could play this for. You know, I'm sure I get to like, you know, 70 or 80 of these things and I'd just probably be done with the game totally. But for the introduction of it, I don't know. I don't mind it. You know, it's not super frustrating, but it doesn't hold your hand by any means, right? You just gotta unlock this stuff. And another cloud in there, just so it can rain on my seeds here. And nitrogen's slowly being produced. With that, hopefully I get a couple more of these nitrogens in the swamp, and yeah, forest. So 2 degrees Celsius I'm running at right now. Would a forest be even colder? Let's try it. As long as it doesn't go barren, where everything dies. Well, even if it does, you know. Why we're trying this stuff is just to see what reacts with what. Should work in that puddle. Okay, so we're below the freezing mark now. Still a swamp because too much water, right? So take out that last bit of water. Nope, that's not gonna. So a bit more. Okay, so we're back into plains again. So the temperature doesn't affect that. And I think the next step would be basically having like frozen area. Maybe the frozen area would spawn a pine tree. I think this is going to form another berry bush or apple tree. Well, let's freeze it up again. See what we can do with that. See what it takes to actually get to a frozen planet. Fertility sucks right now as well, so I should probably be looking at that. Okay, Arctic wetlands. What do you do? Fertility sucks too barren. Arctic wetlands are too barren for this. Okay, not anymore. And that looks like another one of those acacia ones, right? I don't know, we'll have to give it a second to spawn out, but I think it's the same acacia thing in our grassland one, so it's snowy grassland now at -10. I think I need to do like a tundra. If I can get to a tundra grassland, maybe we can spawn a different kind of tree. Milt. What are you? You're a willow, okay. Okay, snowy woodland. Okay, we're getting closer. Woodland is better than grassland, so I'll count that as forest. So let's see if we can get one more notch down. Get it into tundra woodland. That's a thing. Let's get rid of a little water. And put that guy in. Okay, another berry bush, so it's not doing that yet. Oh, okay, Arctic wetlands, so we're in Arctic now. It's snowy Arctic, it's warming up. Okay, so let's drop that down to one more. Hey snail, what's up? I guess you're doing good enough for nitrogen right down here, aren't you? And oxygen is just rocking, which is great. Too barren? Too barren. Frozen lake is too barren. Okay, so I think we've gone too far, or we just have too much water. Let's take out a bit of water. Yep, okay, that was it. And that did fuck all for us there. What else would I need to be? Okay, we got snow. And I'm going to take that snow. I'm going to go back over to our our little astronaut here, and we're gonna ask him what he thinks about it. Hey man, what do you think about snow? What do you think? You like snow? Wanna make a snow cone out of it? Nope, but he's gonna make a snowball. Woohoo! Alright, have fun with that on your barren planet. I'll give you a rock to play with too. There you go. Enjoy your rock. Okay. This one we left in pretty good condition. Bit more nitrogen with the krill there. And I'm just not going to touch that again. That seems like it's actually balanced. Well, as balanced as I can get it for right now. Let's do another collection of some ice. And a bit more oxygen. Although I'm trying not to like rely on these outside elements. I'm trying to actually just make the planet do its own thing, right? This is good to start with, but yeah, I don't think they're trying to tell you to just keep going back to asteroid belts for the entire game. That oxygen sure is useful though. I will take as much of that as I can get. Okay. Oh, let's see. Where are we going? We're going to the snowfields. Okay. Snowy woodland. So I want to get... So how would I get an Arctic tundra? Would that be super dry? And freezing? Let's see. Okay, moss is dying because it's too cold. Woody Arctic. Could you be Arctic moss? What are you? Arctic cotton. Okay. Alright. Worked in that general direction. So maybe it'll spawn Arctic moss as well. Okay, so we got Arctic wetlands. Let me find another tree. So these trees, yeah, that willow is too cold, I think. But maybe that'll make way for a pine tree. I don't have any CO2 to actually afford that though right now. So do I need to... Let's see what kind of creature I can get on this planet. One stick here. And you figure you drop a stick when you die, but nope. I gotta go get another stick from the other planet. There we go. Yeah, Arctic wetland. Oh, okay. Of course, now there's a stick on the planet. Okay, so if that's minus 25... Shit, what are we gonna get? A polar bear? Try 3 of them. Get a bit more nitrogen going on. Oops. Sorry about that. Yeah, this application doesn't really work all that well in full screen. You gotta small screen it, but not too bad. Okay, so there's the nest. What are we dropping down here? I think I got a sheep last time. And if a sheep stays in a very cold environment, then it grows wool. Maybe it'll be the same. Who knows? What do we got? What do we got? Snowy woodland. That is a sheep. Okay. So we'll let this guy roam around. He's got enough oxygen for it. Doesn't really have enough food. And I'm just going to try another one for good measure, just see if we can get another animal out of that. Nope. Okay, gonna do the same thing. So again, we're going to go back to our usual ways of throwing nitrogen down. I don't know if snow works for it. Does it? Yeah, it looks like it. Arctic poppy. Okay, nice. Is there an Arctic moss as well? Banana and pine tree. So I need to get back to a tropical, and I need to figure out the conditions for the pine tree. But that'll have all these guys covered off. And a twiggy brush, that's going to be desert. Swine, frog, brown bear, chicken, bird, duck, penguin, fish. Damn, man, there's a lot of them. Okay, so we need a mud pool. Where would you get mud from? Like making ash? And, okay, so we need wool, we need shawl, money. I can get the money and the honey pretty easily. So let's do those. If I can find that dead old beehive over there. No, not that one. There we go. There was a beehive over here, wasn't there? Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna take that with me. Do you guys need nitrogen? Not really. You are. This feels like a balanced planet for what it's worth. I'm not gonna screw it up with throwing more things in here. Here, Space Bunny, hang out with those eggs. Don't eat them all in one shot. So, I'm gonna take that hive over to the human. Human. I think he creates honey out of this. Yep, there we go. Okay, honey. What else do we need to be creating? Shades? I think I need to get obsidian for these shades, and I don't know how to make the obsidian. It's got something to do with the lava. Maybe it's lava and electricity. Like it cracks the ball of lava in half. I'll try that. The shawl, you need wool for the shawl, and then gold for money. So let's go get him to the gold here. Don't worry, I'll bring some to him. We had a barren wasteland with a bunch of gold on it. No, that's... the giraffe is just hanging 10. The crow's doing alright. We got our oxygen sorted out. Nitrogen could be doing a little better. But what I'm gonna create a storm cloud here if I can. I have to be in the environment to do it. Do that. Okay. And I'll take that right out of there. And I'll put that in my inventory. And I'll replace that with another cloud. That way I'm not screwing up with the... Or did I just screw that all up? Nope. Okay, still making nitrogen. Alright. Yeah, I'll give you one more there. Don't eat those seeds, bird. Damn it. Get out of here. I don't want you eating them. Okay. There we go. Dry grass. Maybe chow on that for a bit. Okay, so thundercloud and lava. Let's try it. It may not do anything. It may do something. So I'll put the lava down there. And the thundercloud over it. No. Just ignites it again. How do I get obsidian? Because obsidian is basically just lava rock, right? So is it something to do with the I have to put something else inside the volcano, because I've tried with the lava and it doesn't seem to work. Let's go back to our cold planet. That's desert. What it is. Okay, so again, looking for nitrogen on this one. Just a bit more nitrogen we'll get producing over here. Maybe a few more eggs. And maybe a few more trees. So let's see if we can get some of the trees that we're looking for over here. Snow fields. Snowy woodland. I want to do Arctic. I got a lot of water here, so let's get rid of some of that. And I need some nitrogen going on. I'm going to use that ice there to hopefully get something else. Minus 28. How friggin' cold does it have to be in order for it to be considered Arctic? I guess here is as Arctic as it gets, but what would tundra be? Would tundra be without... I don't know. I'm not clear on that. So, let's see. What's growing over here? More cotton. Long dead krill. How is that sheep not growing cotton or any wool yet? Because you're out of oxygen, that's probably why. Here, don't suffocate on me. Ah, you suffocated already, damn it. Snow. What kind of tree is that gonna spray out? Nothing. Okay, so berry bush. We need more oxygen, definitely. And I need some kind of tree over here. Just a berry bush again, though. And if I turn down the temperature just a little bit more, let's get it all the way down to the bottom. Maybe that'll consider it Arctic. It's 28. Still snowy, but minus 31. Utility's not great, so let's help that out a bit. Minus 31, come on, let's go. How much colder can you get without being Arctic? Okay, got one more. Minus 34 is damn cold, man. Like Edmonton. I don't know. I'd use your own judgment on the squishiness of potatoes there. Okay, so we've just buried ourselves in water. So let's get rid of one of those. And keep getting it colder. Arctic cotton, Arctic poppies. And I'll go back get some more trees. I'm really trying for this pine tree. Weird that ice still melts at minus 34. Yeah, that's fine. Totally cool. And is it barren land? It's too barren because it's a frozen lake. Let's get rid of a bit of water. There we go. Too much water on this, but what's this? Oh shit. Did we get it? Come on, pine tree. Come on. Don't you run out of every other resource on me. Come on, you got tons of CO2 here. What is this? Arctic moss. Oh, it's taking the shape of it. All right, sweet. So maybe in that regards, if I plant, I try to plant bear egg here, because you know that's how bears work, right? Sweet. Okay, pine tree. Good to know. Okay, so that's gonna help, and it's cold enough for the sheep. Give me some wool. I'm gonna go take that wool over to our human. Hey, buddy. I know you're waiting. Just give us a couple minutes, all right? We'll take off at the end of this stream, even if I'm not gonna make it to all 99, but we're getting there. Okay, and we got a shawl. 70. Okay, so money. Oh yeah, that was the one I was going for, which I have to drop them off some gold. And the gold we got from our very first planet, right? Was new. With this one? Rose doing alright still? We're still doing nitrogen. Do I have any gold on this planet? It's not up here. Okay. I knew I had some somewhere because I was intentionally saving it for it. You know what? Let's just make some more. No big deal. I'll get that up to 2 bars of pressure again. And we'll get a whole bunch of rocks going on here. Use all the oxygen, why not? Speed it up for the sake of time. I don't know if I can break these any other way other than burning them. This is fine. I gotta figure out that obsidian thing too. Is it 2 rocks? It's not a rock and a ball of lava together? I don't know. Yeah, I guess I need to be over 2 bars of pressure for this to be feasible. Okay, so let's go get some more oxygen out of the belts. And let's pump this up to like 3 or 4 bars. Get a whole bunch of stone so we can get some gold. I know I have some somewhere, but this is just as easy. And we're not really using this planet for anything right now anyways. Okay. That wasn't even the planet I was looking on. Double checking. Already been there, right? Yeah, already did this. And poor floating giraffe. I keep getting turned around on these things. I just gotta remember the names. Tara is desert. Tarl. Seems to be doing pretty nice. Animals aren't dead yet. Still got a good balance of oxygen, nitrogen, water. If I had to say, like, you know, if like this is good for a planet, you know, we got 10 out of 10, 13 out of 10 humidity. Seems to be working pretty well for this one. I don't want to screw it up. I'm just gonna go away from it before the next volcano hits and just destroys all my ambitions on this one. There. grow a bit. Twiggy bush, nice. Alright, sweet. And I need more CO2 production on this one, so I can probably send them a bit more life, I think. I want to do this to the giraffe. I'm gonna risk it. Alright. Giraffe, you're in. Don't be so scared shitless. Hopefully you don't die too horrible of a death. I'm just gonna go away from that. That was a wasteland we were looking at. Okay, so I got 2 bars of pressure, so let's keep adding to that so we can get some more stones, break them apart for gold, because I just can't find that one piece of gold that I thought I had. So most of this stuff is going to burn up into iron. But every once in a while we can get a gold out of it. So I'm going to go get a match, just light them all on fire. Exactly how stone works, right? Totally flammable object. Alright, so we got gold out of that. So all I needed was 1 piece. That's all I'm looking for. And we'll go back to our human again. And we'll give him the gold. What you got there? There we go. And we got a bit of cash. Cash money. Totally useless. Can't buy anything with it, but we got it. So shades, I gotta imagine comes from... It's gotta come from glass. Glass and ash, maybe? I don't know, I'll have to try that. Yeah, you walk around that all proud like, but no problem. So, do I have any glass left on this planet from that awesome volcanic destruction? Not really, eh? I'm gonna need some sand, which means I need a digging critter. Which means I probably need to go back to a grassier area. And I don't think I'm gonna be able to deal with sand. Oh, that rocking's not good. Shit. Yep, okay. Don't blow up my planet. Get out of here. For what it's worth, we've got it pretty balanced, so one fire will totally screw up our day. Ash cloud and glass, maybe? Okay, so, well, I guess a better planet to get sand from would be the desert planet, yeah? That makes the most sense. I just need something that's gonna dig on the desert planet. We got enough oxygen. I'm gonna go grab Space Bunny. Let's see if Space Bunny can help us out on this one. Come here, Space Bunny. Going to a place you might not like a whole lot. A little warmer than you're probably used to. But it's got oxygen. So, enjoy. There we go. You're going to help with that oxygen consumption and the CO2. And I guess you're going to eat watermelon for the rest of your days. Pretty sure you dig. Let's get you digging so we can get some sand going. Nitrogen's doing alright. I don't really want to screw with it too much. Got the giraffe coming up. Well, those guys are getting on with the watermelon. That's cool. Pretty sure you dig. Just not on cue, right? You know, you're gonna get stage fright, just poop all over the world. Cool. Okay, sweet. There's a dig. Are you gonna leave any sand? And now I'm gonna need another tree out here because we are kind of unbalanced now. There's the sand, perfect. I don't know if it's gonna do anything, but I'm gonna try the glasses method, you know. Worst that can happen is it doesn't work. So let's get a tree over here. So, oh no, heated wasteland, it's going barren, and I got no oxygen. But I totally screwed that up, didn't I? And it's too hot. So, get that going. Too barren for trees right now. Let's re-fertilize a bit. And that just did another twiggy bush where... Alright, so I just officially screwed up that planet. I'm saving the giraffe. No, don't die on me. Okay. you hang out here until I've got... Yeah. The crows died. Damn it. Yeah, one little thing and you know, everything else will go to shit. But I got the glass now. I got the sand. So I'm going to turn that into glass. And then from there, can I combine that with anything? With lava itself? Let's see. No. And I can't feed it back in here, right? So that, glass and ash. No, that doesn't look combinable. Yeah, can't see how to make shades. But shades would be... I don't know. It's got to be glass and something. Just can't figure out what it is. Or it's I just hand him the human obsidian once I figure out how to make that. And I'm just missing that piece of the puzzle here. Didn't tell you. Obsidian. It's got to be something to do with lava, and something else. I tried it with the thunderstorm already, and that didn't work. Maybe I'll try hitting the glass with lightning. Maybe that could work for something. So I got my... Let's get that going. There's my ash cloud. I'm going to combine that with a normal cloud. And we got a thunder cloud. And that thunder cloud, I'm going to put the glass right underneath that. See what that does, if anything. Doesn't appear to do anything. If I add ash into it? No. Nope. That is not the right strategy for that either. Okay, well, we're hitting the 2-hour mark on this. So I've kind of done sort of the basics of what I understand this game to be. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to launch our little dude out and get to the technical end game of this. But there are still almost 20 other items to unlock. The animals, so we didn't get a lot of these. And need a banana off a palm tree. I just need to keep a better tropic environment. We didn't get a lot of the bugs either. So these are just about different environments. And I gotta figure out how to make obsidian and shades. But other than that, we did not too bad for trying to figure this thing out. I'd highly recommend you guys go grab this game. I'm not sponsored by any means, but for $6, you know, it supports somebody that worked pretty damn hard, you could tell, on a pretty cool game for what it is. It's basic and it's complex and it's... I like it a lot. So on that note, we are going to depart the human. I think, right? Yeah, your ship's already. Oh, did my battery die over time? No way. Embark. Embark. There we go. Alright. Alright, taking off, Ozer. Going towards that black hole there. Ah, oh, right in the face. What was that? How did that even hurt me? Wait a second. I mean... You know what I mean. I know what you mean. Black hole. I know what you mean. Goodbye. Okay, so that's by no means 100% run through, but it's what I understand the game to be, and yeah, hopefully if anybody does pick this up and play it, I would love to be able to figure this out, because it doesn't really, there's no guide to this yet, you know, it's not big enough. It only came out last month, I think, or a couple months ago. Whoa. But if I'm me, you're here, what are you? Questions. The universe is gone, I think. I'm sorry, man. Yeah, I don't think it is. Probably toast, right? Okay, man, you talk a lot for somebody with no body. Yeah, totally rambling. Okay, well, okay, yeah. See you next time. I think that means we're done. Huh? Yep, the end. Okay. The 72 out of 99. Yeah, got a little while to go, but I think I'll probably take another couple whacks of this offline and figure out how to actually create these things, and then I'll go through it again. So if anybody's curious about how to play this, as I learn, I'd be happy to teach, and if anybody learns anything about it, I'm super interested in this game. I would love to be able to get 100% on it. So with that being said, thank you very much for watching, and hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy.